Limbs at their very finest in the Pompey away end at Hillsborough. Pompey's campaign has begun in dramatic style in South Yorkshire. 3 goals, courtesy of Conor Ogilvie, Michael Jacobs and Colby Bishop, contributed to a 6-goal thriller yesterday afternoon. Accrington scored a 96th minute winner to rescue a point after they went down 2-1 at home to Charlton Athletic. Ipswich were the better side but were held to a 1-1 draw against Bolton Wanderers. A packed out Pride Park enjoyed a 1-0 win over Oxford. And 2 Johnson Clark Harris goals in quick succession meant Peterborough left Cheltenhamshire with all 3 points. Tonight in our second live hour or so, we will unpack Pompey's memorable Hillsborough away day. We'll assess what this means moving forward. As well as that, we'll have a look ahead to next weekend's Fratton Park curtain raiser, the visit of Lincoln City. All of that and much more, including your Pompey Man of the Match from yesterday and our Goal of the Month award, of which we have 3 to add to the list, right here on 4-0 Sunday Live. A very good evening to you, ladies and gents. Thank you for sticking with us for the last hour or so. Obviously, we've all been celebrating the football. Oh. Hello?
Hello. You went quiet there, mate. You went quiet. Nervous times.
How you doing?
Very well, mate. Very well. I say I caught the last 15 minutes of the ladies for the extra time, but impressive, wasn't it? Good to get a good result for them.
It was, absolutely. Aaron, were you watching?
Yeah, watching the whole thing. Just recovering from a hangover as well. So, watching a bit of football, pizza. I'm so glad we didn't go to penalties. I don't think I could bear penalties against Germany. So, yeah, I'm just glad they done it. They done the job. Hard battling all the way through. It was a physical game. Quite a few tackles. The ref had a nightmare. I thought the ref was from League One at one point. It's just
yesterday, referee, definitely.
Yeah.
We did have a yesterday referee, but the big headline is that football, for the women at least, has finally come home, which is great news. Right, on to Pompey then. We've got loads to talk about. We've just already mentioned the referee, so it's probably a good place to start, actually, is the refereeing standard. Hello to you, by the way. Welcome along to the stream. Thanks for joining us. If you've got anything to share, if you want to tell us about any of your thoughts from our dramatic, eventful day in Hillsborough. Myself and Gaz were there, so fire myself and Richard were there. Sorry, Gaz was also there. So fire any thoughts, any questions that you have. Let us know what you're feeling and how you are feeling tonight. Right, first of all, I think what we should do is welcome Mr. Adam Prorier into the stream. That's a given, I think. So here he is. He's here, everybody. He's here.
How are we?
The lights are going on in Richard's place. How are you, mate? More like, how you doing?
I'm very well. I'm buzzing after the result. I hope we all are. Congratulate the ladies, of course.
Absolutely. You have. I don't think Richard's got the memo. He's turned up ready for the Twin Foxes.
I've got the watch got the top that Owen's going to get when he comes home at stupid o'clock in the morning after his duty weekend. So
amazing. Yeah. Good stuff. We're going to first of all chat about refereeing decisions, which is where I was going to start. I just want to flash this one up on the screen for everyone to see. So this is Oxford United on the left-hand side away from home last season. That was deemed a red card offence. On the right-hand side, although it's slightly better picture quality, you can see what was deemed as an absolutely nothing offence on Dane Oliver from the weekend there. Now, referees, whatever, people will have different views of that. But I believe, Richard, what we're asking for is a little bit of consistency, which absolutely is not there looking at the screen.
We're not getting it, are we? And I think we saw that a lot near the end of last season with a lot of matches. And don't get me wrong, I think it did sway in the second half. We were getting a lot more given to us than what we did in the first half, because literally the first half, it was all Sheffield, wasn't it? I think the fans must have got on with the ref, and so nothing went our way. There's a lot of talk whether the ref actually saw that challenge, but the thing is, the linesman, even though he was further up the pitch, he should have flagged it, to highlight obviously, the issue. But it was one of them. Did he actually want to take it to a 4-3 with a penalty, for a chance of a penalty? I don't think he did. I think he was more than happy for a 3-3 and to get away from the place.
Adam, when
But
you're
when you look at it like
watching
that is,
Yeah.
absolutely obscene, isn't it?
we're going to
Yeah.
slow it down a little bit as well. You'll get a couple on there. Poirier, I don't know how you feel about that one. Obviously, the quality is not amazing on that, but whether it's a pen or whether it's in the box or whatever, there's it slowed right down. But I'm not being funny. That could have I'm not just saying this because we're Pompey fans or whatever. That could have really hurt him, couldn't it? Studs to the head, back of the head, and it's a ridiculous one, isn't it?
That is incredibly dangerous, isn't it? Incredibly dangerous. I mean, welcome to League One, Dane Scarlett, for one. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great introduction for it, but I mean, yeah, completely dangerous, completely unneeded as well. No need to have the boot that high in comparison. Yeah, completely agree with what everyone else is saying.
William saw it all the way from Woodstock in New York State, so there you go. And even a Wednesday fan in the chat said, "I'm a Wednesday fan, and that was a red card." Crazy decision from the referee, says Josh. And that would be a red in the MLS. Well, that's one of the very few times where I'd prefer us to be playing MLS football then at that point. At that moment in time, it's a foul every day of the week. It's more than it's reckless, dangerous, whatever they call it in terms of a decision, isn't it? So that's not the best. We'll move on to slightly more lighter things, I suppose. The game as a whole. Aaron, I don't know if you've seen the highlights or you were watching the game live. What are your initial thoughts and a reaction to what was a real barnstormer?
Well, definitely the first half was like, where were we? We just didn't show up at all. Defence, midfield, all over the place. Could be nerves, first game of the season. Don't want to make a mistake and everything. But we did make a mistake to go 1-0 down, but he did rectify it and scored one in the second half. You've got to remember the team is still a new team together. Not everyone's been playing with each other week in, week out for pre-season. We have got a few people last week. So once they actually gel together and actually work out who's where and what, then we can actually definitely see a fast improvement in the team. But first half was, we just didn't turn up there. Second half, much better. There was a lot more flow, much more talking to each other. The passing and like the crosses, I really did like that. Even with Curtis on the side where we set up that other goal. He wasn't selfish. He was actually passing and with Jacobs as well. Yeah, quality player, Jacobs. Absolutely mental player. But I think once they all started playing together as a unit, we're going to demolish teams in this league. We really will. And even Danny Cowley said that we're going to absolutely obliterate teams. You just got to give us a couple of weeks. I think a few weeks. But very disappointing first half, but second half much improved.
People are saying that they enjoyed the video, so thank you very much. I think that was largely down to Richard's involvement, to be honest. That's normally why people enjoy them. Keeper distribution from Louise.
Yeah,
Rich, we had a chat about this. We did,
yeah. And I say, for all the positives that there is with Josh, I think when it was in the first half, there was a lot of wayward passes, a lot of balls going out. And when he hit it down the centre of the park, it was going straight to a Wednesday defender. And it just seemed to be a bit unnervy. Sometimes it felt as well that even though we were 1-0 down, he was very slow, with his deliveries. And when they were delivered, that, he either put them out or to somebody else. But in general, though, keeper-wise, he came out, didn't he? He comes out for the ball. He's very brave, getting in, to take them high balls. And I think he's going to do really well this season.
Adam, we'll come to you for initial thoughts in a moment. Before we do so, we're going to hear from a very special friend of ours who's currently in the air flying over Europe, I believe.
Evening, Tom. Evening, boys. And evening to everyone in the stream. Hope you're well. Hope the stream's going well. I'm sure it is. I'm sure the guys have been dissecting the football that we witnessed yesterday. I'm obviously in Birmingham Airport at the moment. Just ready for my duty-free section, take home to Malta. So I just thought I'd give my views on some things from yesterday. Obviously, the first half you probably discussed already. Wasn't the greatest, but it's the first game of the season, so there's going to be some gelling time together. Danny did a good job in the second half. He got them in half time, 1-0 down, and then from then on we pushed on. And obviously we got the equaliser, but then as they say, once you've scored, you're the weakest, and obviously we conceded, so it wasn't great. But then we showed resilience and composure, and then we got 2-2. And then to go 3-2 up, that was just an absolute dream for any fan at a away game, especially at Hillsborough. But again, you know, we had some unlucky, unfortunate incidences with the referee. We could have had a penalty. We could have had Connor on the pitch when he was injured, when they equalised. So yeah, so unfortunately the gods weren't with us yesterday. But yeah, all in all, I think there's promising signs there for the season ahead. Obviously we've got a good game next week. My question to the boys now is for Curtis. He had a bit of a mixed bag yesterday. So for me, the question is, should he stay or should he go? All right, lads, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Play up, Pompey.
Adam, Ronan Curtis, should he stay or should he go?
We all have a love-hate relationship with Ronan. I think he is our longest-serving player, if I'm not aware. 4 years, isn't it? Around that. I think he's a great servant to the club. I think it is probably good having him around for this season. He is the most experienced with Pompey, and I think he does bring the motivation and morale up where needed. So for me, I do think he should stick around this season.
Rich, we discussed this a little bit yesterday, didn't we? We particularly highlighted how, I don't want to be cutting of the guy, because I know there's a lot of people that like Curtis, there's a lot of people that don't like Curtis, but he looked quite slow, didn't he? And he didn't look like his pacey self that we know and love in a Pompey shirt from him.
Yeah, so there's one moment, wasn't there, when he had the ball where he had the perfect opportunity to go running down the flank, which he would have done, 2 years ago, put the ball across, but it just never happened. He looks heavier, a lot heavier than what he was last season. He's playing on the right-hand side. And the thing is, like we spoke at half-time, if he was going to be going, or if there's people looking out for him, then should he have really have played? That's what got me. Was his heart really in it? Was he trying not to get involved in too much argy-bargy, not picking up cards, not, the possibility of getting injured. But when he did move over to the left side, I thought that's when we saw the difference. We saw the Ronan Curtis that we all know, where he can cut in on the ball. And I think because the team were flowing and we were getting the goals, he just made, that made the difference for him. Just a nice bit of spark that we like to see.
Aaron, a comment from Nolan's Pompey Vlog says, Marlon Pack is like 2 signings. How do we feel about that? And I think it's pretty much true. It was immense. It's with Marlon Pack, it's little moments, isn't it? He just when he does something, you go, oh my word, that's immense. Like that's what you just got to say it with Pack, haven't you? How crucial is he this season? Do you think?
Oh, definitely crucial. I think he's the player that we were missing last year, because his attitude and commitment, and you just see sparks of genius in him as well. I think he was voted man of the match yesterday as well. Not 100% sure. I think he was man of the match. But yeah, he's definitely going to be one of our best players this season. Definitely. He just controls everything. He gets everyone organised, and I think we've got a mental signing there. Absolutely phenomenal, as they say. Phenomenal. Sorry.
Amazing. Well, we're going to keep the laughs going then, because there's a little bit of I call it a little bit of a feature that I want to introduce here on 4-0 Sunday Live to you. Every week we have a lot of mishaps whilst we're on camera. We have a lot of moments where we're like, oh, I wish that could go in, but it's kind of takes up a little bit too much time in the video. You might have noticed that we were sort of 22 minutes long yesterday. Just quickly on Pack as well. Love watching the celebration in front of the fans. There was a little bit of a badge kiss, wasn't there? And we'll talk about Joe Rafferty in a moment. But before we do so, this happened, and I'm not sure if you watched it. I'm pretty sure you would have seen it by now. It's been a fantastic response to the video. There's a little moment with myself and Rich outside the ground, and we.
It's always me, isn't it? Always me. Last year, I got a trophy. This year, what? It's not fair. This not fair.
So we did what did we say? We said hello. How you doing? Mega was going to be. We were going to both say it at the same time. It looked very succinct. It looked very normal, and I think it looked quite natural in the video. Sadly, it was far
10
from
takes
it.
later.
Have a look at this.
Hello. How are you?
Very well.
How are we feeling? Mega. Oh no, mate.
Mega.
Try that again.
Cut back. Mega.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
How you feeling? Mega. That wouldn't work.
Mega.
Right. How are you feeling? Mega. Right.
Okay.
Simple fucking word, isn't it?
Pressure.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
How you feeling?
Mega.
I thought you would be. Yeah. Funny that. Funny how these things come around, isn't it?
Take 4.
So written all over it is not always as succinct as it sometimes appears on there, but there we go. Hello to Ollie, who said, "How are you, mate? Buzzing for Lincoln and loved Hilter away, loving the new Colby chant as well." Yeah, it's absolutely huge. We were. I tell you what, that was another key moment as well that I absolutely loved, was when Colby Bishop was subbed off. I think it was 75 minutes or whatever. I think it was Dane Scarlett that replaced him, and just that reception for him to walk past 2,136. Away travelling support. I said it in the video, no disrespect to someone like Accrington Stanley, but he just would have never had that in his footballing career before. And I think the reception he's going to get at Fratton Park Poirier is going to be something pretty special.
He's going to absolutely love it. Absolutely love the fans here. Some of the best in the country, even the world. But yeah, absolutely love it here. I think he's going to have a real good time with us.
Owen has said, I think this team is going to get better and better and will do very well. Bishop will score loads. Pack will be amazing. Get the runner. We're at Cardiff, play at Pompey. So I believe, I might be completely wrong in quoting this, but is the last time we played them going to be that 2008 game, or have we played them more recently than that? We must have played them more recently than that. Someone will do their research on that, I'm sure. There we go. That's what we should call it. 4 takes written all over it. That's amazing. Hello to Adam. Been a while since been on one of your streams. Hope you're well. Great result yesterday. Absolutely was, mate. Brendan. Brendan? What am I talking about? Brendan's not even here. Aaron.
Where is Brendan?
I don't know what he's doing, mate. He's probably on the road somewhere. Were Sheffield Wednesday lucky for a point?
Yes, definitely. First half, yeah, we could have lost that easy. Second half, we were much better team, really. We should have had that penalty. Would have taken 4-3. I wouldn't say we dropped points, but we should have come away with all 3. Definitely. It was just, we knew where their weakness was, so that's why we were chucking in the crosses. It was seen over their pre-season as well. Their weakness at the moment is getting the players and getting them into the box, and then you can just open them up like they opened them up for their first goal. They opened us up for their first goal, and we just abused their system at the back and got them crosses in. We saw their weakness and we took it. But yeah, we should have walked away with all 3 points.
Leo said this side looking great. Imagine some new additions and just wait till they gel. Absolutely. Rich, do you see Joe Morrell getting back in this side? Because I feel like that midfield dynamic with him and Pack would be unreal. But at the same time, Thompson's done nothing wrong to be booted out, has he?
I was going to mention, actually, when you mentioned Pack, about the man of the match, on how it would be with Morrell in the squad, how them two would gel. Thompson is a fantastic player, don't get me wrong. But I think Morrell probably pips him, I think, at the moment. Obviously, once he comes back from injury, I'm not sure what your thoughts are, but but I think the pair of them would do really well. Say at some point it's got to be tried out, isn't it? They've got to try them out just to see, and Thompson may be a second half, sort of substitute.
I don't know how you'd go about doing that, Poirier. I think it'd be difficult to get you, because you don't want to be trialing and erroring when League One football is really important to win games, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to be getting him cemented in the team. Morrell is such a good player for us, but it's a conundrum, but it's a good conundrum, isn't it? Having someone like that ready to be played around with. But will we want to do that now? Get it out of the way, experiment with how the midfield would work? I think we would. Let's get it out of the way. Let's see who's gelling. From what I can see, it worked pretty well yesterday.
Yeah.
We're going to bring Pepe Lacey from the Portsmouth News in just a moment, a little bit earlier than Bill. Before we do so, we're going to have a look at some stats and statistics from yesterday. This is how we're looking then. I've picked out one of the key goals. The goal, the footballs are where the goals were scored from. As you can see on the right-hand side, it's gone now, but all of Pompey's goals scored within that little radius. 60-40 on possession. Expected goals much higher for Pompey. Big chances in Pompey's favour as well. Total shots obviously completely outweighed by Wednesday, which is obviously something we need to work on. There's more on your expected goals. And I must say as well, expected goals on target, that clinical nature of Pompey is something that a lot of us can be really pleased with. Good evening. Welcome along. How are you?
I'm not too bad, Tom. How are you?
I'm really good, mate. I'm really good. I know you weren't there, and I know you were very upset not to be there. But what's your initial reaction to the events of yesterday?
Firstly, I've got a couple of mates in here. They went yesterday, and they've been bragging on about it the whole last 2 days. When I was sat home, not watched it, just listening to it on the radio. But Firstly, I think first half we were, by the sounds of it, we were pretty poor. But we knew that sort of going up to Sheffield Wednesday. But then second half, sort of out of nowhere, really, we get a goal and then we're back in it. And then just like that, 3-2 ahead, Colby Bishop. I think he's going to be the one. We've seen John Marquis not really do it at Portsmouth, but Colby Bishop, he's sort of got that, like, I don't know, he's just got something about him that's just a bit different. You could see the passion. Like, you could see when he scored his goal, he went over to the Pompey fans and Marlon Pack as well. I think just having someone like Marlon Pack in the midfield with so much passion, you saw both of the goals. He was in front of the Pompey fans, giving it large, kissing a badge, whatever. He was going big. And I think that's what you want to see. That's got to be like sort of a key part to a promotion push, is having someone like that with passion and real sort of energy to bring to the team. But yeah, I think overall, I think it was a good place to start. I think a point away at Sheffield Wednesday for the first game of the season, we were looking at it the whole pre-season. Like, it's a tough ask to go there, clear favourites with Ipswich, and to go there and get a point from it. You'll take that. You'll take that every day of the week.
You take a barnstorming 3-3, don't you? He's absolutely right, isn't he, Rich? We were saying this. It's probably our toughest test walking out. I was also going to say, Pepe's spot on. All of a sudden, we found some attacking prowess, haven't we? Combinations that can achieve absolutely anything. I was about to say, it just twigged in my brain then, I haven't felt this excited about an attacking situation. I know I might be going early with this and it's early doors, but since the Chaplin Lowe days, that combination between those two that we had, I don't know how you feel about, obviously, early days and signs are good and that gelling's happened really quickly, almost a little bit too quickly. I'm a little bit worried that it's kind of a one-off blip and we're never going to see it again. But what's your thoughts on the Colby Bishop and the Joe Pigott partnership?
I think when you look at it on paper, it sort of shouldn't really work. They're two quite big players. They sort of don't want to put Joe Pigott as a target man, because he's not really a target man, but he's sort of built like it, but not, if you get what I mean. He's sort of one of those players you wouldn't look at that would go and run off, but then he's not sort of a target man. So he's a bit of both. But I think the last couple of games, well, pre-season, we only saw them Coventry. That was their first sort of outing together. And then yesterday was their sort of first major game together. But I liked how they played by the sounds of it. Joe Pigott was making the runs, he provided 2 assists as well, which from a striker you'd take. But Colby Bishop as well, I think I said it earlier, he's just got that something about him. He's got pace, he's got a bit of power. It's almost, to say almost like George Hurst, but he's got something about him that could lead Pompey to promotion. But I think the key thing Pompey's attacking wise is the winger situation. I think yesterday there was definitely a need of pace, by the sounds of it. There were Curtis and Jacobs, they bring a bit of finesse or whatever they bring, a bit of skill, but there's definitely pace missing from the wing. Because you don't look at Joe Pigott and Colby Bishop and say they're bringing pace into the side. There is pace there, but it's not cutting edge that would cut open defences and would cause real issues. I mean, you look at Marcus Harness's departure. He brought pace, but then again, he wasn't very consistent. So you need to find a player that has that balance of being consistent, but then also brings that sort of pace and finesse, which Pompey are really lacking. But I think we talk about it in a month's time and see what happens and make our final decisions. But I think initially the early signs for Pompey's attack it's looking good, Tom. It's looking good.
You said 6 games, didn't you, Aaron? I think, and that would take us probably to the end of August, wouldn't it? Which is, I think, sensible stuff. And just building on what Pepe was saying there, Aaron. We were myself and Rich were sat right up in the gods watching the events unfold at Hillsborough, and you could literally see it was visibly there. The evidence was there that we were playing narrower than Sheffield Wednesday were, much narrower, like really obviously narrower. What needs to change in the next week or so? Is it a case of bringing in a winger, or is it a kind of a tactic switch around? How can we get Michael Jacobs to be a little bit more comfortable playing out wide if that's all we've got, at least for the time being? How do you
feel? I think it's a bit of both, really. You want to tactically and get another player in as well. Even though we've got loads of players now, we've got strength and depth coming in, you still need that additional couple of players. We've still got until September, until the transfer window closes. But yeah, definitely bring someone else in. You can show and train and coach people to go on the wing and run left, right and centre. But look at Curtis. If he's on the right, he's not brilliant, but when he goes on the left, he's outstanding. But then you just need that extra bit of pace as well. So even if you get a player in, you've got to have a player that can just run ragged for like 90 minutes up and down that wing and everything. And after a couple of weeks, I think some players are actually going to see our team thinking, cool, there's a good chance I could actually fit in there. And you never know. You never know who could come in. But we've still got a bit of time. But I think it's a bit of both, a player and tactics as well.
Okay. Rich, this one's for you, I believe, because we were up there and watching it happen. Raggett, amazing. He obviously had a bad back. I think it was a little bit more than a bad back. He needed a steroid injection, I believe, in order to get him through the 90 minutes. A warrior that we all have to bits. And I think the same goes for a comment just down here from Johnny, who said, how good was Morrison? No pre-season. Aaron would have seen him for his only 45. I think Pepe was there as well for his only 45 minutes at Barnet. Other than that, he's been thrown in completely into the deep end. How well did they adapt, Rich? And how well, obviously didn't adapt very well in the first 45, but maybe that's the reason behind it, perhaps.
Yeah, I say, obviously we spoke to him, Morrison's got, plenty of championship games under his belt, very experienced, player, obviously he's dropped down this year. There's talk that, that he had, other championship clubs looking for him, but, everybody can say that, can't they? And I thought he played well, and the good thing is the two centre-backs, roughly the same sort of height. Raggett is hard as nails anyway, isn't he? I know it was a bit suspect sometimes when he got the ball on his feet and the pressure was coming on from, the Sheffield lads. But I think solid, and they're two people that are going to gel, and it's like with Burgess, when Burgess was in the squad, you've got people in the squad. It's like, that's it. They're cemented, absolutely perfect. And what, Pepe was saying earlier on with regards to our front two, possibly being a bit too big. But when we were at Shrewsbury last year, Tom, I made a comment to you, say, if you look at our side to their side, they're all solid players. Shrewsbury time, Milton Keynes, they're all big. I always look at it like with regards to rugby league players, rugby union, they're sort of built, stocky and super fast. And the thing is, their pace is going to come because once they can see that they've got chances, they're going to get the deliveries. We're going to need that height, like what we saw yesterday. Some of the, the jumps, for the headers and that, with Bishop was fantastic. And I think we are going to go from strength to strength, definitely. And, coming next week, that the buzz around Fratton Park next week, is, I just wish I was on a week off, because I'm so excited to be coming down. You've led us on brilliantly because we're getting up to the half-hour mark, and before we wrap up on Sheffield Wednesday and get on to the Lincoln preview, which is what Rich has just been mentioning, there is a poll on your screen right now. Let me have a look and see what the result of that is so far. So I put into the chat 10 minutes ago that I asked the question, who is your Pompey man of the match from Saturday? A whopping 53% of you said Marlon Pack, 36% have gone for Colby Bishop, 2% for Michael Jacobs, and 9% for another player. With that in mind, in the feeling of the group out there at the moment, Adam, where's your head at in terms of a man of the match? Has it got to be Marlon Pack, or that header from Colby Bishop was unbelievable.
It is tight, isn't it? It is tight. But I do really like how Marlon Pack has just adapted into this team. A real leader, just going around, dictating the play and sort of commanding everything around him. I think he's been absolutely outstanding the game that he's played. I love him. Absolutely love him. Love his passion. I mean, even Colby Bishop's passion. But yeah, I really love having him as an addition to the team. He really adds a new level, a new dimension into that midfield.
Is the general consensus around the group Marlon Pack? I know probably Colby's going to be Pepe's, but would we say man of the match for Marlon?
Yeah, definitely for me.
There we go. Lovely. No objections. Right, let's move on then. Thank you, gents, for the moment. We're going to have a look at the upcoming fixtures and the league table at this moment in time. Obviously, it means absolutely nothing, but we'll look at it anyway, because why not? So what you're looking at right now takes us up to the end of August. Lincoln at home. Richard's very excited about it. I am off to Cardiff on Tuesday the 9th of August too. Then it's a trip to Cheltenham. Myself and Andrew will be there for that. Pompey versus Cambridge is our second home game of the season. Then it's back-to-back home games with Bristol Rovers. Then away to Port Vale. I believe Rich is going to be there to join us. That's the League One table right now. It means absolutely nothing. Pompey just outside the playoffs at this moment in time. Right, let's have a look at some of those other teams then. Let's see what the other scores were looking like across the weekend. I said it at the top of the show. I haven't got the scores on the screen. I thought I had the scores, but obviously we haven't got the scores. They're running across the bottom of the screen anyway. Let's talk about the Ipswich Bolton game, Pepe. I'm sure you won't have seen too much of it or whatever. Just wanted to briefly cover it. Are Ipswich still up there in terms of automatics, or you got them more as a playoff team this season?
I think you look at the odds, them and Sheffield Wednesday were clear. And on paper, you don't really see another team sort of catching them. You look at Derby's team and, yeah, Conor Hourihane, James Collins, James Chester. I think that was another of their signings. They're good signings, but they're quite old. Whether they can do it in League One remains to be seen. I know they beat Oxford yesterday, but Ipswich, they're a fascinating side. We've got a lot of attacking talent. I saw Marcus Harness's Instagram post. He said he was disappointed with his hour. So I don't know how his debut went, but by the looks of it, from the outside looking in, it didn't look too good. Hopefully it goes well for him, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. I think it was a good game, good test against Bolton. I think Bolton went 1-0 up. So that I think it's going to be tight. I think I watched the prediction video last week, and you can't really separate the teams from 12th to 6th or 4th or wherever. You can't predict. Charlton could be up there, but then could also be 12th. Plymouth could also be up there, could also be 12th. So I think it's going to be a really tough league. Ipswich are bound to be up there on paper, just looking at their squad. But then again, they spent a lot last summer, and then look how that ended up. So I don't know. It'll be a fascinating one. Ipswich will be a good team to keep an eye out on.
And another game just to pick up on very quickly, Poirier, was the I think it's just scrolling across the bottom now. Cheltenham Town 2, Peterborough 3. I know you are relatively close to Cheltenham in terms of uni and all that kind of thing. 2 goals from Johnson Clark-Harris very sort of quickly. I think it was like 60 odd minutes and then 70 minutes. Only about 10 minutes between the goals. Is he going to be your Golden Boot winner for League One this season, do you think, at this early stage?
Not if Colby Bishop gets there. Not if Colby Bishop gets there. No, I can see him being a very, very dangerous player this season. Very dangerous. But I do believe in the Bishop. We do believe in the Bishop. But who knows? It's going to be a very tough league. I agree with Pepe. I agree. Who knows? I mean, Cheltenham Town still held their own for a bit. But yeah, completely agree. I think it's going to be a very, very tough league.
I think also, sorry, just to butt in, there's also going to be teams that you're also going to be dark horses. Bristol Rovers, don't know about them. Shrewsbury as well. You look at some of their signings, you don't really Shrewsbury brought in Shea Dunkley, Aidan O'Brien, a couple of other ones, Teddy Bishop as well. And you're like, wow, actually, that's actually a really good squad. So you look at teams that realistically Pompey and Ipswich should beat, but then also they could be really tough tests, like going to Montgomery Waters Meadow. Is that what it's called now at Shrewsbury? that'll be a tough game to go to.
I'll tell you what, Pepe, but before you move on to another team, Rich is actually very close to Shrewsbury at this moment in time, and I believe he's a bit of a man on the ground, so he could probably tell us a little bit more about what to expect from them.
Yeah, well, me and Tom know a mate of mine, Steve, and he went to the Shrewsbury Cardiff friendly with all expectations of seeing a fantastic team, which you've just mentioned about. And he said that his words were, this season will be middle of the table. There was nothing that came from that match.
Based off one game?
One game, but Cardiff did have quite a strong team out. But they didn't play well. And look, they've gone up to Morecambe and they drew against Morecambe. The players that they've got, Shrewsbury, they should be beating Morecambe. Going across the bottom now, Plymouth Argyle, they've had fantastic signings by all accounts this year, another strong team. So I think, the top 6 that we had at the end of last season, obviously without us putting us into the top 6, I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a similar teams to what we had last year,
Aaron, just to throw this one in there for you, Leo's gone. I know it's early in the sort of the season, but do you look at that performance against Sheffield and see Pompey's a side that can push for playoffs and maybe above? I know we're kind of coming back to it, but I wanted to answer it because I think it's really important for maybe people that have just joined us. How impressed you were with Sheffield Wednesday yesterday?
Second half, 100%. I'm really impressed. Like I said before, the team just needs that extra couple more weeks to gel together. and work hard together. But yeah, we can definitely push up. Automatics, yeah. Hopefully we can go up all in automatics. But if we have playoffs, we have playoffs. But yeah, if we can play like that and play against all the top sides, because the test that we're going to have to actually face is we're going to have to get results from all them top 6 teams. If we can get results against them and then smash the bottom teams, we'll have no problem at all this season.
There were so many moments there that I was so worried about dropping that camera that was in my hand. And I think Rich can probably tell us a little bit as the man on the ground. We did have a few people on top of us at one point, didn't we? It was
on top
crazy.
of us, going over the top into the big hole that was in front. But, you know, it's like that young lad in front of us. He was there with his mum. And, you know, I felt so sorry for him because it was just, he was quite scared. You know, I know there was times when, you know, caught on the video, he was obviously chanting towards the Wednesday fans, but it was just that thing of it. Did it go a little bit over the top? I think it did. We were there for Wednesday 12 weeks ago, and it was the same then, wasn't it? You know, when we scored, it was mental scenes. It's one of them. It's great to be in, but then when you take the bigger picture and you look around, who's around? You know, you think, oh, hang on a sec. You know, should they be a little bit further down the front, or you know, if you're at the back, you just got to take it. It's like probably the best mosh pit you could ever be in.
we almost crowd surfed, didn't we? We were almost crowd surfing. Yeah. Pepe, before we let you go, thank you so much for spending a bit of time with us. I'll take a score prediction off you for Lincoln. How you feeling about that one very quickly, and then a final table position for Pompey come sort of May time.
God, that's a lot of pressure.
Sorry, 2 big questions. I know. Sorry.
I don't know. Lincoln will be a fascinating one. I think they lost to Exeter yesterday. So I don't know. They've got a new manager, so that might take a little bit of time to gel. I don't know. I'll just go safe and go 3-1 Pompey because it's at home. End of season. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot the last week. If Pompey get 2 decent wingers in, I could see us pushing. It would be in the playoffs. I've put a bet on Pompey to win the league, but how realistic that could be is another question. But yeah, I'd say we're in the playoffs. Don't know where, just somewhere in the playoffs. I think that would be a safe bet.
Amazing. We didn't. I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about sort of Portsmouth news and how you're finding it, but I'm sure we'll invite you on another time when we've got a bit more time to chat that through, mate. So amazing. I was about to say, can we subscribe to the Portsmouth news? We can pay £2 a month, can't we?
Yeah. You can pay £2 a month or have your 5 stories a week, which I know is quite limited, but we do have a subscription. We've got a special subscription on at the moment. For the new season. So if you're not subscribed to the Portsmouth News, subscribe and read all the Pompey coverage, match
and
report.
When you see,
everything.
When you see Pepe Lacey at the top of the article, then that's the ones you want to be reading.
I'm not taking any credit.
There you go. Well, sometimes Pepe can take a little bit of credit. There we go. Pepe, thanks so much for spending a bit of time with us, mate. Nice to see you. And we'll see you at Fratton Park on Saturday.
Yeah, see you in a bit. Cheers. Thank you.
Take care, mate. Just a quick reminder of Pompey's upcoming games. As we say goodbye to Pepe, and we're going to bring Alex Hayward into the conversation, and we are then going to go on to the opposition. That's how August is looking. It's a packed one. Couple of Tuesday nights in there. We'll be off to Cardiff in a couple of weeks. Port Vale's the last weekend of August. Rich is getting very excited about that one. There is the league table, although it means absolutely nothing at this moment in time. Pompey currently just 2 points off the playoffs. Look at that. Amazing stuff. Good evening, mate. How are you?
Good evening, chaps. How is everyone? I'm very well. I think it's been a bit of a rollercoaster weekend, especially that first 90 minutes, hasn't it? But yeah, I'm doing well.
Good. We should very quickly say a very kind donation from Stefan, who's donated $10. Great work by Pack also in the second half. We did touch on Pack a little while ago, Stefan, and I think he's probably he got on man of the match vote, didn't he? So there we go. And Poirier was chatting about him and all sorts. Jack has said, what a great away day yesterday was. Found a nice pub after the game. Chatting to some Wednesday fans. They thought the ref was on our side. Well, there you go. How amazing is that people see things a little bit differently. Ryan said, I don't think we should get too confident from yesterday's result. We took our chances. However, the goals did benefit from some poor defending. But at the same time, Haywood, you could say that the goals that we conceded were a benefit of poor defending from Pompey as well.
Yeah, definitely. And how many times have we said Pompey have capitalised on poor defending? I think that says it all. For us to be able to have two strikers up there that we brought in the summer, one getting 2 assists and one arguably getting a brace. It couldn't have really gone much better for them. Obviously, 3 points would have been great, but on a personal note for both of them, confidence has got to be flying at the moment. And us to be able to have a player in the box that you just know can head the ball now in Colby Bishop, I feel like we haven't had that in a long, long time. And it's so refreshing to think when the ball goes in the box, we've got a chance of winning a header and scoring a goal from it. And who knew that Joe Pigott would be the one providing 2 crosses? That's not where I thought he was going to be playing, but it's a Danny Cowley masterclass.
Absolutely. Jake is ready and waiting. We're going to get on to all things Lincoln City now. Before we do so, here's what I've managed to gather over the last... I've had a little look at this before the weekend's event, so the voice is a little bit better than it was on the start of the show. This is this week's opposition, this week's opposition, Lincoln City.
Pompey boss Danny Cowley knows next weekend's opposition incredibly well. He guided Lincoln to their first third-tier season in English football for almost 20 years, having won the National League with 2 games to spare with the Imps during his first season in charge, and taking them to promotion to League One the season after that. Lincoln were also recently managed by another former Pompey boss, Michael Appleton. However, the end of last season felt like the right time for him to move on to pastures new. Mark Kennedy was appointed on the 12th of May this year. Cole Rushworth and Danny Mandrew are standout transfer arrivals, with keeper Rushworth reported to be among Pompey's transfer targets before recent news of Josh Griffiths and Joshua Oluwayemi. But it was Tom Hopper who provided the goal for their curtain raiser stalemate at home to Exeter City yesterday.
There we go then, this week's opposition, Lincoln City. I'm delighted to say Jake joins us now. Good evening, sir. Nice to see you.
Hello, mate. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you. When was it? Wembley was the last time I must have seen you when we went to go and watch Forest. But no, good to be talking about football again, I suppose, even though the opening day wasn't too thrilling for us, definitely.
Tell us about it then. So Exeter City, I think you guys went one up quite early on, didn't you? What was yesterday like? Was it the way around?
We went 1-0 down actually after 15 minutes, I think it was.
Oh, right. Okay.
Exeter deployed a really high press on us, stopped us playing out from the back, and they've got a lad up front called Sam Nombe who plays on the last shoulder of the defender every time, and Giovanni Brown, I don't know if you've seen the highlights, but played a peach for ball through our defence, and they went 1-0 up. But then after, the second half, Mark Kennedy must have said something to him at half time, because I think it was 6 minutes later, Tom Hopper scored a backwards facing header, which was slightly strange, looped over the goalkeeper. So, no, an indifferent start of the season, but when it's opening day, you try to score a goal, you don't lose. We've not lost, so that was pretty good.
Mikey said, great to meet in person on Saturday. Gaz is much better looking in real life. He'll be watching this at some point. He'll be absolutely made up with that, mate. Could I ask Jake? It's quite a specific question, but I think it's worth getting out of the way. We both share a love for Danny Cowley, Joe Morrell, Sean Raggett. The list is pretty endless, isn't it? Maybe not so much Tyler Walker, but we can. I'm sure we can chat about him. I think he did quite well for Coventry today. Actually, we saw a little bit of that game against Sunderland. Did he not? Was I watching the wrong game?
He didn't score, but
he came on a sub, didn't he?
Did he? Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you. Myself and Rich were there on yesterday at Hillsborough, and on sort of, I think it was I lost track of time completely. It was literally like being on the moon up in that sort of away end. But I think it was about 75, 80 minutes. Josh Griffiths went down. There's obviously absolutely nothing wrong with him. And I think we were 3-2 at this moment in time. I believe you've told me before that that's quite conventional of a Danny Cowley team, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was a bit of a running joke in our fan base. So every time we were winning with about half an hour, 20 minutes to go, like you said, we had a goalkeeper called Paul Farman who just went down it was like clockwork, every 70 minutes onto the deck for about 5 minutes, just killed the momentum out of the game. And clearly Danny's got Josh into doing some similar theatrics, which if you look at how Danny's team did over his course at Lincoln, it's got some good omens for you guys, to be fair.
Cool. Well, Glad to hear that. Hopefully that's going to be the case. What's your feeling for how Saturday will go then, mate? We look ahead to that. Obviously, there's not an awful lot that we can go off. You can hardly go off form at this moment in time. Pompey, I would say we're probably 50% new in terms of arrivals and departures. Is that something similar for you guys?
Yeah, we've still got a lot of recruitment to do. It says it all when Chris Maguire, who had a bit of a crap year last year, he was told that he could find a new club in this summer. You know, everyone thought, oh, that'd be Maguire gone. He ended up playing yesterday, coming off the bench. So that shows you how small we are for numbers, really. We've got some recruitment to do in the forward area. Tyler Walker is actually one that is very heavily rumoured to be coming back, which was meant to be at the ground yesterday, which is obviously for us is quite exciting based on what we saw from him in a Lincoln shirt. But no, yeah,
steer well clear, mate. Steer well clear.
No. If Walker and Maguire are playing on Saturday, you know that they'll both score. So.
Well, this is true.
No, they won't. Yeah, no, I'm not really looking forward to be honest, guys. You guys are someone that I've earmarked as just outside the playoffs at the moment in time. Obviously, you could sign some really good players in the next couple of weeks or so that push that up. But Pompey, it's a ground we hardly ever win at. I think we've won at Fratton Park once, which was the COVID year when we won 1-0 there. But last season, when we came down a few months ago, I think you beat us 3-2, didn't you? That was quite a good game. So expecting something similar, I suppose. But yeah, no, I'm not confident at all ahead of Saturday.
What are your memories of that day? I remember it was a bit like what we had on yesterday against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough. To be honest, it was a bit of a barnstormer, wasn't it? And there was kind of moments when we would sort of massively thought you'd won it, and then we pulled one out the bag like that. Bit of a mistake from was that Josh Griffiths by any chance? I think it might have been.
No. So Josh got injured actually, sort of with maybe 10 games to go. So we had to call up our backup Jordan Wright, and if it was Josh, I think we would have conceded one.
Right, well, it's good news because that was a bit of a shocker. So I was a bit worried that might have been him. But so, and then obviously we need to talk about one of my favourite away days from last season as well, which was at Sinsel Bank. I went with James. It was a memory and a half. Jake, what are your reflections on that one at your place last year?
Don't even bother talking to me about it. You guys were.
I won't even play the overlay then, mate. We'll just. I might do. I'm going to do it anyway, so we can all watch Pompey goals. There we go.
Until we played Ipswich, maybe 10, 15 weeks later, you were the best team that I'd seen us play against. But a Danny Cowley team's really efficient, and you guys sort of walked all over us, didn't you? Really.
That happened yesterday. Just then, that little fall over, but on about 100 times scale. So. Well, let's hope we can do something similar in terms of walking all over you. I don't think it's as straightforward as that. A lot of people have got Lincoln City to go down this season, Jake. I wonder what you'd say to those people. I've heard you comment on this a little bit in the last couple of weeks.
I would think they're full of rubbish, to be honest. I think there are 4 worse teams than us at the moment. You're looking at the bottom 4. You've got the promoted clubs. You'd expect us to finish above all of those, and you've got the likes of Cheltenham, Burton, they're all in a bit of a slump at the moment. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to go down. I think we should be sort of similar to where we were last year, but another season in League One for Lincoln City based on where we were 10 years ago is a massive achievement based on the size of the club that you guys are compared to us. So, no, yeah, just be happy to stay in the division, and hopefully Mark Kennedy can push on and try and take us back to where we were a couple of years ago.
We'd love a bit of a 4-0, wouldn't we? No. But I know you wouldn't, but I can't really envisage that happening, to be honest. Leo says you don't want Walker. There you go. Just quickly, if any of the other guys want to ask Jake a question with it regards to Danny Cowley or what we can expect from Lincoln or anything along those lines, fire away.
I'll go first. I was just going to say, are you boys notoriously okay on the road? Or, I mean, I usually see Lincoln where they finish, but in terms of away and home form, how do you get on the road?
Away form is massively better than the home form, which it was just surprising given the fact how good our home support is and stuff like that. Massively better on the road. I think even under Danny Cowley, we were far better on the road. So I'd expect something similar from Pompey this year. Just playing at home is horrendous for Lincoln at the moment. It has been for a couple of years. But no, away from home, where there's more pressure on the home team perhaps and not so much on us, we've managed to pull out a few results, like coming down to Fratton Park and beating you guys a few years ago. Sorry to bring it up again. Like going to Sunderland last year, we beat Wigan away last year. So we'll definitely compete better on the road, I think.
The one in from the chat before any of the other guys go for it, Leo said, what did you make of Griffiths for you? You told me, your words were, I love him when we spoke about him, Jake. So do you want to elaborate?
No, yeah. Do you know what? I sort of posted something in the chat earlier when you were talking about him, how he had a bit of a shaky start. He did the exact same thing for Lincoln. So if you guys just show him a bit of patience, it has a mistake in him, 1 or 2 mistakes, but once he irons those out of his game, he'll be one of the top 3, top 4 goalkeepers in the division. His distribution's not fantastic, but he commands his area. He's a good shot stopper, communication, everything you need to be a top keeper. And I have no doubt that Josh will go and have a successful career, whether that be at West Brom or you're looking even higher, because he's obviously playing for England under 21s at the moment. So along with our goalkeeper, actually, Carl Rushworth, so they'll be international teammates, which will be good. But no, a top goalkeeper who we relied on heavily last year, and when he went out the team, you could definitely tell there was a step down in quality. So really jealous that you signed him on loan this year, but it's a Pompey criteria that your signings have to play for Lincoln at some point under your manager.
Definitely.
So
definitely, yeah, definitely. James would like to know, Jake, what did you think about John Marquis for you last season?
I loved him. He was. You have to think about the expectations for a Portsmouth and a Lincoln. You guys were expecting to be at the top end of the division. We're expecting to stay in it. John Marquis, he came, he run his socks off, scored a couple of goals while he was there. Yes, he misses, some sitters, but he was there to do a job, and he massively did that. His goals, without his goals, I don't think we would have stayed up. So a really good player, really nice bloke. Had the chance to speak to him for a podcast. So nice bloke, good player. Shame we couldn't keep him, but I can imagine he'll go and score 15 goals for Bristol Rovers this year.
Jake, you are a journalist. Sorry, Alex, go for it.
I was just going to say with Marquis, I don't think any of us we didn't hate the bloke. We always knew he was a good bloke, and he could score goals in the right places. I think he was such a confidence player for us, and I think with the expectation, like you said, the weight of the shirt, 2 bad games in a Pompey shirt is the equivalent of 6 in a Lincoln shirt. They get a bit more leeway. And if you have 2 bad games in a Pompey shirt, I think it's very quick for a lot of fans to get on your back. Not with ill intentions, but I think for some people like John Marquis, I think it was just such a confidence-based thing, and that's why at Donny, less expectation, not as much in the way of needing to hit 30 goals a season to make them go up or anything. And I think that his confidence there was always pretty high, and that's why he scored goals season on season. But yeah, you're probably right. He'll go and score 15 for Rovers.
Yeah, I think the same about Tyler Walker as well. Obviously, you guys thought he was horrendous, but for us, he'd scored 20 goals by Christmas the first year we were back in the league. So, look, yeah, nearly 20 goals. Yeah, he scored 17 before Christmas.
Danny's always said as he came in, he's a great finisher, and he's obviously working. So it's not someone that he's just saying that for the press. And I think you're right. He'll probably do all right for you if he came in. Let's just hope he doesn't come in before Saturday, so we only have one chance of him scoring against us.
That's it. Yeah, that's the worry. There was one more in here as well that I wanted to throw your way. I was about to say, Jake, you're a journalist first and foremost, a football journalist. So we're going to get your view on this. We already spoke about this at the top of the show. The one on the left is a red card and a sending off. It actually happened. That was Joe Morrell against Oxford last season. The one on the right is from Saturday, and just your thoughts on that, and kind of, I know you may not have seen it or not. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have a little bit of a we'll have a look at this and see what you think. It's crap quality, but that happened yesterday. Talk me through it.
Yeah, I watched the highlight show back last night before I went and had a few beers. No, it definitely looked like a free kick if it was in the if it was outside the box, and certainly a red card when you're endangering an opposition player like that. Yes, you might be able to say that Dane Scarlett's head is a little bit low, but for a player to put his foot that high, I think it's reckless. I think it's dangerous. And if I was the referee, I think I would have shown him a straight red card, whether if he was on a second yellow. But definitely a decision in Pompey's favour. And you look at the one from Joe Morrell, he's that sort of player. He likes to get his foot in where it hurts. And we had a similar decision actually a couple of years ago with Jack Payne, who obviously played under Danny and is now at Charlton. It's exactly the same as the decision against Joe Morrell and got sent off. But no, very bizarre that the officiating at this level cannot be, standardised, because the referees at this level are horrendous. And yeah, but that's definitely a red card for me and a penalty. And I think it was Dane Scarlett as well, wasn't it? Who a player that we were looking at, funnily enough.
That was the best thing. Just quickly on that, I just saw Dane Scarlett's 2 pictures on his Instagram story. One of him in a Pompey shirt, and then the next one just of him with that around his head. And it was like, "Welcome to League One, mate. That's what you're going to get every week."
Is it? Yeah, that's it. There's a one in here. It's a genuine attempt for the ball. 100% a foul. Red would be harsh, in my opinion. There we go. I'm assuming that you would say that a red is harsh for the Joe Morrell one as well. Aaron, Richard, Adam, do you want to throw anything else at Jake or add anything to the conversation that we've been chatting about?
Yeah. I think, is there a player that we should be looking out for Saturday for Lincoln? Is there a man or that you think would trouble us?
Oh, there's plenty. Teddy Bishop, who someone thought had moved to Shrewsbury earlier in the show, he's pretty dangerous. He's still at Lincoln, as far as I'm aware anyway. He's a player that was massive for Ipswich in the Championship a few years ago. His injury record just meant he couldn't play a list of games. There's a lad we're not too sure if he's going to get on Saturday called Danny Mandrew. I don't know if you've noticed, he was playing for Shamrock Rovers out in Ireland. He scored 7 in 19 this year as Shamrock have gone on and look like they're going to win the Irish League. We've managed to poach him for a really small fee. Whether he plays on Saturday, we don't know. He's come injured. This is really difficult. Anthony Scully, obviously, is a player at this level, is very dangerous. Horrendous misses yesterday. I don't know if you guys would have managed to see the highlights. He should have scored 2 goals, but we have more players that people sometimes credit us for. And then at the back, I would say Carl Rushworth, the goalkeeper, is someone to look out for. Had an excellent loan spell with Walsall in League 2 last year. So much so he replaced Josh Griffiths in the England under-21 squad, and he played really well again on Saturday. So definitely a few new faces that you might not have seen before to keep your eye out for on Saturday afternoon.
The flip side of that question for you, Jake, is who are you most scared of playing against Pompey on Saturday? Are there any names that stand out in your mind initially?
Yeah, Colby Bishop, mate. Scores every time we play against him. Scores every bloody time. I remember we played Accrington last season at home. They beat us 1-0 and their only shot on target, it was Colby Bishop from 3 yards out. And he'd just shown that knack of getting in the right place to capitalise on a really poor mistake actually from Josh Griffiths. So Colby Bishop is always someone that I dread coming up against. Connor Ogilvie as well is someone I hate playing against. Maybe that's because he played for Steve Evans at Gillingham. Just a bit of a nasty person. And then if Joe Morrell is fit and is playing, he's someone that you want playing on your side rather than against. He's an absolute menace in midfield. We'll run through brick walls for Danny Cowley, unfortunately. So Joe Morrell is someone, although I don't think he'll affect the game in terms of you guys scoring goals. He might keep you on top in the midfield battle, I would expect.
And just finally, Jake, a score prediction for Saturday. What are you going for?
Tom, it's got 4-0 written all over it, mate. We're going to get beat 4-0. Genuinely.
There we go. No. Wasn't expecting that. Thank you, mate. Enjoy. Oh, go on, mate.
Just asking how much you paid him for that.
Yeah. The thing I'm most looking forward to, obviously apart from seeing Tom if I get down, is how we had a moment when we played you guys last year when Danny Cowley came at the end of the game. Massive respect for Danny and Nicky Cowley. Both came over to the away end at the end of the game and had a really great moment. So, yeah, love those two blokes immensely.
We love you too, Jake. Thanks for coming on. We will see you on Saturday. Take care, and hopefully see you on Saturday. Thanks for coming to join us, mate.
No worries, guys. Have a great rest of your show.
Cheers, mate. This is what we're looking at the moment. I'm a massive bit annoyed, actually. Well, not a bit annoyed, but just a bit gutted. Gaz came on for about 30 seconds. I saw him there, and I was like, I want to grab him because I think he's back but he's since just disappeared. So we'll have to sort of press on our own. As we said, Wickham really ran away with it against Burton, so they're top of the league at the moment. Pompey just on the edge of the playoffs. If he's going to come back, I would absolutely love it, but we'll wait and see if he comes to join us. Alex, we didn't really get a chance to get your thoughts on how you felt about our barnstormer at Hillsborough. Your initial reaction to the events.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been able to see all the highlights, as you obviously know. I was just picking up a dog on the same day, so it was a bit of a what takes the priority. And unfortunately, I was here rather than in Sheffield. But yeah, it seemed great. I don't know how Rich is still alive after some of those videos. And yeah, I mean, I've got to say, Marlon Pack looks a class above, doesn't he? I know I said it on last week's show, but I'm just so glad that the first game in this division, in the actual league game, he's just shown class above anyone else. I mean, to be on the byline and just shove that guy off and be like, right, I'm going to put this in, we're going to score from it. Yeah, I think he's going to be massive for our season. And I just think it's so good, so refreshing to have a couple of players up front that you just feel a bit confident they might, put it in the back of the net. We go into Saturday and I think I can see us scoring goals. I know it's, it's been one game, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but I can't remember the last time we've gone away from home to a big team in the league, put 3 past them. Admittedly, we've conceded 3, but you've got to look at those goals we conceded. The third one, if Ogilvy's on the fit pitch, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, the guy's thunderbolted it into the top corner, so there's nothing you can do about that. Second one, closing down, could have been a bit better. Still long range. I don't know. I didn't see the angle properly, but I don't know if Griffiths could have maybe done something with that. But yeah, and in the first, obviously, we didn't have a good first half. But let's just hope this season, I think one of the key things will be that we can do 2 halves or 75 minutes at least of high quality. Because I know, last season and probably seasons before, I feel like we've been very much a 1-half team. And a lot of the time that's gone.
3 headers as well.
I know, yeah, exactly. And it's just so nice to think you put the ball in the box and there's a chance, our players will get on the end of it and score the goal. I just think we've had Harrison, we've had Marquis, we've had Walker, we've had all these players that, will score goals time to time, but I just don't think you put the ball in the box and they're going to get ahead of someone and win the header. I mean, Colby Bishop's header for that second goal was some header in between the defenders, and obviously then Jacobs doing the killer instinct and following it in, which is great to see as well. And then that third one, obviously free header, but I'm not being funny. How many players in the past would you have thought would definitely have scored that goal? Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
Hello, mate. Hello, boys. Right.
Back in Malta, mate.
Oh, it's warm here. I had to get my jacket off. So that's going to be put away now until the Plymouth game, probably in September. How was everyone, right?
Yeah, we're really good, mate. We played your video at the sort of about half an hour ago or so. So we've heard your kind of thoughts. Now you're back in Malta. You've had probably a little bit of time to reflect on the plane. Anything else you'd add to what you said earlier?
No, I mean, I've just been like sort of watching watching the back on like the video that you did last night, because I downloaded that, and just the experience of the whole day. I know we were criticising that half time probably a bit too much, really, because we're expecting instant success in 45 minutes. And obviously the second half, we got some just rewards of that, but promising signs. I'm really happy, with the new players that we've bought, and they've sort of hit the ground running now. And, like you say, once we gel a little bit more, exciting times ahead. We've got some good fixtures coming up. So we'll definitely test ourselves, exciting times,
Just wanted to say, Rich, we were chatting at half time and we said, I'd love to know what was said in the dressing room. On reflection, I feel like it was just, I think he said it, didn't he? Be a little bit braver. And you're watching it and
it showed, didn't it?
Yeah. We weren't far off it, were we? It just needed a bit more composure, be a bit braver, and maybe that message was all that was needed.
Yeah, that's it. And the thing is, all we need now, isn't it? Them on the flanks, 2 people, either side, and that's it. We're pretty set, aren't we? It's getting the confidence in the lads. It's keeping the lads fit and healthy. We don't want injuries. We don't want to be like we were last year, where we suddenly get injuries, and it's like you're sort of going to start scraping the barrel of who it is that we're going to bring in. But it's just that confidence, isn't it? And they'll bring that. Like Bishop, when he walked off. I know it was crazy where we were, But just think what he feels as he's walking behind the goal. He must be thinking, yes, Saturday, Fratton end, that's it. It's just like, but yeah.
That's nothing compared to what he's going to face on Saturday.
It has the opposite effect as well when he's having a bad game, and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to be here,
Yeah. But the thing is,
also,
we mentioned earlier on, with one of the comments earlier on with regards to player confidence with Marquez. We had it with Hurst as well, didn't we? We had somebody there that, wasn't getting the goals in straight away, but then as soon as the goals were going in, that was it. His confidence went sky high, and it's like, we've got to sign him, But hopefully we've got that confidence already done now, within the first game, so fingers crossed we push on.
Can I just say, this is amazing how people just saying hello to each other in the chat. It feels like a lockdown thing again, doesn't it? So, although we might be a little bit boring you in terms of what we're saying, at least you get to have a little bit of social time while we're chatting through Pompey. Aaron, you mentioned something there. I didn't want to cut you off. What was it you were going to add?
That the experience he had on Saturday, that's nothing compared to what he's going to get on next Saturday. That noise and everything from the fans. He thinks, oh, wow, this is amazing. He's going to have a heart attack on Saturday when he walks around Fratton. He's just going to, what have I walked into?
Yeah, he must have gone to bed on, I'm not being funny, gone to bed on Sunday night thinking, bloody hell, like, I've made the best decision of my life. He's come to a club that's singing his name after game one. He's not even been on the pitch 90 minutes. Scored a brace pretty much. I mean, I don't know if that first one is given to him, but he scored a goal at least. Done everything he possibly could have done. We've got our own chant for him. He's probably going to bed thinking, I can't believe where I am. I just think, just keep going, boy. Like, you just keep working hard and scoring goals, and you'll be loved.
This is a nice, kind comment. We've listened for the last 20 minutes. Ollie honestly agreed with everything you guys have been saying. That's a very rare occurrence, mate. So thank you for that. Honestly, think we will do well this season. Adam, has anything about the last 24, 48 hours you've seen from Pompey changed your mind on where you put us? Because we didn't get a prediction from where we're going to finish in the league from you last week. What's the feeling?
I think edge of playoffs. I'm still thinking edge of playoffs. I think it's still going to be really, really tough. I know I'm being a little bit pessimistic, but I believe we're around playoffs now. And if we make one or two more really impactful winger signings, potentially, who knows, high playoffs, maybe grab a promotion automatic spot. It's looking up, though, really looking up.
It's a very comical
comment. Minutes we were relegation, and then the second.
That's it. Dad said it, didn't he? He was like, I don't know if you guys watched it at the end, but he was like, first 45 minutes, I thought we were going to get relegated. And then he said something like, oh, yeah, second 45, championship winners. I was like, you muppet. There we go. Cool. Gaz, was there anything? Where are you right now, by the way?
Say again.
Taxi. Go get a taxi.
I'm going to get a taxi. I just want to say goodbye to all you beautiful people, all the beautiful people in the stream. And my prediction for next week is 3-1 Pompey.
Oh, mate, you've ruined that massively. Go for 4-0, go on.
Guys, you're a legend, mate. Have a good evening.
Take care, lads. Good week ahead. Bye-bye.
What a legend.
What a legend.
What a man.
Unbelievable. Right, before we leave you then, it is now 9:10. I just want to say as well, I'm aware that there's not as many people as were joining us last week. That is probably because we are A, an hour late, B, the football's on, and C, we're all absolutely exhausted, and so am I, and I know Rich is as well. Aaron, your overriding emotions right now, how are you feeling going into the next 45 games?
45 games, I'm very positive. I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to do over the next few games. Once the gelling happens with the players, I think we're going to really, really stomp this league. I'm not going to say we're going to win it straight out, but I think we're going to cause a major, major headache for a lot of teams this season. And as long as we're beating the top sides, we're going to definitely be up there. So very, very positive. Is Tom gone?
Yeah, I think he's had enough of us. But I mean, Rich, how was it in the weekend? I mean, I've missed the start of the stream, but I mean, what was it like being out there?
Fantastic from the start. I say when we were doing all the interviews with all the fans, it was just like 3 busloads of rowdy Pompey young lads, all up for the game, all came off, and it was just like, it was one of them when I first went on Fratton Park years and years ago. where it all, your hair stood up on the back of your neck. It was like sensational, fantastic at the start, atmosphere. But then all of a sudden, it's like, I dropped down to see Andrew at half time and he says it's probably one of the first times that he's not heard of vocal Pompey support, because what we were seeing was just like reminiscent of 12 weeks ago when we were there for the last game of the season. But then when they came out, that was it. It was just like they had the belief in them. They had the drive, the passion. And as soon as the goals went in, it was just like there was people there, which like Ogilvy, I didn't think he played well in the, nobody played well in the first half, but very, very quiet. Curtis. Yeah. But then they changed, they picked up the pace and they played well, they delivered. It's what we want to see. We want to see that passion, don't we? And I think come next week, it's going to be, I think we'll win. We'll win next week. But I think if you look ahead at the next couple of games, I think Plymouth will be the test, because there's another strong side. People say Wednesday, the strongest team, potentially in the league. But I think Plymouth are there because they were up there last year, but then fell away. And I think, with the signings they've got, that's the next one we've got to look at. Cheltenham, we should be okay at. Lincoln, we should win.
Yeah.
Carabao Cup, I don't really go for the Carabao Cup. That's why Tom kept on saying, come down to Cardiff, come to Cardiff.
You've still got time, mate. Still got time.
I'm not coming.
I agree with that. I think that I looked at those fixtures that Tom put on the screen. The next 6, you'd say if you looked at fixtures and where you think would be a good first 7 games, like you look at Pompey's and go, that's fantastic. I don't doubt at all that we will go into a few of those and somehow lose them. We'll probably all come on here on a Sunday evening and go, how the bloody hell we lost that? We didn't play like we should have done. But it's a good run, and I say that, to be fair. 3 of the teams in that I say are probably poor teams in the league, all won yesterday. So who knows what's going to happen. But I just think, it's probably that last 45, people have got a bit of belief now. It's a bit like going into next week thinking, hold on a minute, I've seen 45 minutes of that. So, 45 out of 90 at the start of the season, you can't complain too much.
I knew we would do it. I knew we'd get on at some point. Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm good, lads. Good, lads.
I was going to say, you've got... Where have you... That's a good question, that is.
Well, I literally finished watching the Lionesses and I had to bring my missus back to Crawley. So I'm currently in Crawley at the moment. And before I head back to Portsmouth in a minute. Just thought I'd jump on one.
You on the wall behind you?
It is. It's my cutout from the older lockdown matches. I'll show you.
Amazing. Oh, is it the one that was at Fratton Park?
Yeah.
Amazing. Look at that. Wonderful.
So I'll donate it as a pack.
You've got, I don't know how long you've got to spare with us. We were going to begin to wrap up, but before we do, I wanted to get your thought. Richard, I was hearing every word then. We had would you believe it? It was Andrew that needed something and he wouldn't stop texting me about it. So I quickly shut off. But Richard was describing the day to us from yesterday. Now you've had a bit of chance to reminisce, mull over what happened. Just talk us through your emotions going through that.
Well, as life as a Pompey fan, it's full of roller coasters. It really was, sort of full of optimism in the start of the day. Then Luckets were late, as you saw on the video, which was great fun. And then we got there on time. Luckily enough, got there on time. Met up with the lads. Good to see all the boys again. Been too long without seeing all you guys. And yeah, then 1-0 down pretty early doors, and we weren't looking good at all. We were looking pretty dire in that first half, and that's across the board. Griffiths' kicking wasn't great, and defence weren't looking confident on the ball. Pack looked composed, but again, didn't really enforce himself too much. The wide men were playing too narrow, and then the centre forwards weren't getting the ball to do anything with it. So it was a really sort of like difficult first half, complete polar opposite to what we had last year, sort of like in the end of the season. And then second half, I don't know what Danny Cowley did at half time. He must have had that Peaky Blinders moment where he went round and slapped everyone, saying no fighting, no fighting, no fighting. But get out there and do your job for those travelling fans. And we come out swinging, and we got a decent goal, packed with a lovely little cross in the box, and then Ogilvy's header, which we're going to see now, lovely ball in. Bosh, Ogilvy, lovely. And then the Lins, gosh, everyone jumping over each other, Gaz going mental, Richard's glasses falling off. It was going mad. Trying to protect my missus from everyone trying to jump on us. It was mad. And then the Bishop header there.
That's the best one.
That was class. It was a beautiful header. That one to make it free. It was ecstasy. And I've never taken any of that stuff in my life, but that's what I think it felt like. And it was incredible.
We've been on air for an hour and 16 minutes now. I've probably played that 4 or 5 times. Rich, Aaron, Adam. It's been any excuse to just get that little bit back
Play it
on.
again.
Back
Play it
on
again.
The airwaves.
Play it again.
Play it again, and we can all sit
We'll
together
do it
and
again,
watch
Tom.
it. There we go. We'll do it again. So
Marlon,
that's the first one.
What? Get off me, mate. What's a header?
Incredible.
To be fair, I think that first one, a Gilvey, that first one's ridiculous. To be fair, while this is all going on, we did put a poll on about 18 minutes ago. It's had quite a few votes on it. I said who scored the goal of the month. I realised that we've only had 1 game and there are 3. So I missed off the Michael Jacobs one because that's technically gone Jacobs' way. So I went for Trialist versus SC Qatar because, none of you went, did you? Jesus.
I've seen the goal. It's in the highlight of it because it was on your video, wasn't it?
It wasn't very good on the video though. It was a bit kind of. I got a bit excited and I forgot that I was meant to be filming it after however long we've not been doing them. But that one was there, and then Colby Bishop versus Wednesday, which is the one that we were saying was the best one out of the lot, and then Conor Ogilvie I wanted to put in there as well because I think that first one was pretty good. 62% of people have gone for Colby Bishop versus Sheffield Wednesday. 21 have said Conor Ogilvie's goal, and then 17 for the poor Trialist.
How refreshing is it that a striker, a number 9, has got into that position? How's he between the defenders? I feel like we haven't seen it in so many years where they've just peeled and been like, right, there's a free header. He's only free because he's made that space. Let's not forget.
And the direct cross as well. We're missing them all the time.
Is his strike partner putting it in though, which you wouldn't have thought.
You could see how fuming the Sheffield players were. They were just like,
he's there.
It was hilarious.
Keeper was fuming when he Stockdale threw the ball away, didn't he? He got fuming. He did.
The fans weren't very happy either. They were giving it large. I've got to give a special mention at this moment in time. Richard's in the top right hand corner of the screen, and I wasn't going to forget. But we've got 115 people in the stream with us. There is a link that's very important to us here at Fournilwrittenalloverit in the first link of the description. Rich, the floor is yours, mate. Tell us all about the incredible cause that you're raising money for.
So October the 2nd, I'm running a half marathon, the Cardiff half marathon, for a charity called Big Moose. They're a mental health organisation. That's basically, you put a call out for them and they will come and assist. So 18 months ago, I was diagnosed with depression, and I was on a waiting list for 10 months to see a CBT therapist. I went to see some friends that I follow on YouTube doing a charity from North Wales from Beaumaris Castle in a wheelie bin, pushing it all the way to Cardiff Castle. They finished that today and they raised in total £32,000. I went to see them and they wanted people who have had problems to actually speak up. And one thing with males is that we're very good at not chatting. And I found that even with Rachel. It was easier for me to speak to others than what it was, with my own wife and children. So whilst I was being interviewed, Craig, one of the couples, the gentleman that was who I'd been to see, he sent a text message to Big Moose, and Big Moose, within 5 minutes, I had a buzz in my pocket, and I thought, surely they've not replied. And Craig said to me, he said, "Oh, you'll have a text message shortly." I picked the text message up. They wanted all the details off an email and everything that had happened over the last 18 months. This was on a Sunday afternoon when I got back home. I replied to that. Monday morning, 8 o'clock, I had a phone call to say about going. I'd already been signed up with a therapist. And then that therapist an hour later called me, and I had my first session 2 o'clock in that afternoon. And this is somebody. So by raising £400 allows one person a minimum of 4 sessions, and that's to do with depression, suicide, etc. And last year was very, very dark for myself. It's having the people that we've got within the stream, which helped massively. And with the CBT, it worked out. It was stress-related OCD. And when you look at it, you then picture everything that's gone on, which has caused the stress. And the OCD, you think, it's keeping your house spotlessly clean and everything in its place. It's not. It's a disorder where things pile up, which then cause the problems. So with the counselling that I'm having at the moment, it's been a massive help. I'm on my third one this week. I've had 14 therapy sessions through with work, but this seems to be working really well. And me doing the Cardiff half, yes, I do a lot of running, but it was something to give back. It was one of them. I've cancelled a lot of events this year where, because of different pressures, which is all related with the stress OCD. But I think now I've got my name on the paper. I've got sponsors coming through now. It went live yesterday, and it's just a case of the max. I put a limit of £500. If I could go beyond £500, I just look at that, the help that it gives to everybody. And all it is, all the details are in the link below. If anybody, even if it's just a couple of £1, I'd be more than grateful. And I'll do my best and get Big Moose on the map, and obviously Pompey on the map as well when I'm in Cardiff. So I'd just like to say thanks a lot to everybody.
Amazing. And the comments are pouring in. I don't know if you've got them up on your screen there, Rich, but everyone is massively behind you on this. And I am delighted to say that I've this afternoon become amongst Rich's 40% of the way to...
Yeah, 30%, yeah.
To where we're heading towards. So, I mean, anyone who's got anything that can help us out with this, please do so. We'll do the same again for Lincoln when you're down on Saturday as well. Incredible cause. I know, Haywood, you were doing something similar with a marathon. It wasn't kind of the same kind of charity, but raising money and doing that kind of thing. It's just amazing. And
yeah, it's a great cause, mate. And hats off for you speaking up about it. Like, it's fantastic. And to use Tom. Not use him, but utilize Tom's following to make it.
Oh, that's it. I say I just tried to come off the medication when I shouldn't have last week, and the therapist turned around and said, "Well, if you're on heroin," he said, basically, it's cold turkey, and literally within 48 hours, I was a mess. And then he said, "Why did you stop?" And I thought, well, I read something that I shouldn't really need to be on tablets, and it says, "Well, I've been on tablets now for so long. It's a case of." I've just got to come on slowly.
It's weaning off. It's tough because I know a few people that have had the exact same thing and tablets and stuff. And I think, it's just fantastic you're chatting about it because that's the first step as well. And anyone on the stream listening and anyone watching Tom's video on Saturday will definitely, there will be probably someone that's experiencing the same thing, maybe not diagnosed yet. Or if it is, then they'll they'll think they got another person, another brother to be going through it with. But yeah, I'll get in on that donation list for sure.
Cheers, mate.
Amazing. And hopefully as many of the other people in this watching the stream and in the chat, I know you're all right behind Witch and so are we. Right, very quickly then, 24 minutes past 9 now. Let's get round the group. Let's do score predictions for Saturday, see how we're all feeling. If you want to add anything to your score prediction in terms of sort of thoughts about what might happen as well. Aaron, we're coming straight to you, mate, up in Watford, the ever Mr. Positive. It surely can only be one thing, can't it?
Oh yeah, but before I give my prediction, I was actually recognised for the first time from the channel when I went to the Barnet game. I was on the train coming home back to Stanmore, and Black Whirlies, he's probably still watching now. He said a hello to me on the stream earlier on. But I was sitting there talking to him. He says he watches the channel all the time, and I said to him, "I'll give you a shout." So, hello, mate. How you doing? And it was the first time I've ever been recognised. It was like, "Oh, you're part of 40." So, oh yeah, I felt like a celebrity then. It's like, yeah, it was mad. Anyway, my prediction, definitely 4-0. It's got to be a 4-0.
Anything else, or is it just a 4-0?
No, I think the atmosphere is going to be electric. Bishop he hasn't even realised what he's walked into at Portsmouth now. When he crosses that line at the beginning of the game, then he's going to realise what he signed up for, and then he's going to bag in a hat-trick.
Well, Dan agrees with you. Owen agrees with you. Max agrees with you. Noel doesn't quite agree with you. We'll gloss over that one. As well. 4-0 is massive in terms of recognition. Well, I tell you what, it was amazing. I just quickly on that before we go to Rich, and you've got a new seat for Saturday as well, Rich. That's really exciting. Nice new comfy chair.
The thing is, there won't be any limbs in that one, will there? Not like Saturday. No.
It will be the old chap behind us slowly getting to his feet and just giving us a little bit of one of those, and then that'll be it back down again, which will be a bit of respite, won't it? I just wanted to say that Rich mentioned it earlier on in the stream. We had a wonderful moment when that coach load of Pompey fans got off. The shouting "Good morning, Andrew" in the street is almost becoming kind of. I'm getting a bit accustomed to it now, which feels really strange because initially it was really strange. But now it happens left, right, and centre, and he absolutely loves it when you say it. By the way, so keep them coming. It makes him very happy. So there you go. And even Dad lost his voice when he was getting excited about Wednesday. Alex has got 4% battery, so we're going to jump straight to him. Score prediction, son, and then he can shoot.
Yeah, apologies, guys, jumping the queue. I reckon we'll go 1-0 on Saturday. I know that's a little bit negative after saying that we've got all these goal scorers in the team, but I think we'll get brought back down to earth. A few misses, Rich, and it'll just be a 1-0 written all over it.
There you go. And Alex has made some time for him as he's got away from his in-laws tonight to be with us as well. So hopefully they're not watching. Hello if you are. Have a good evening, mate. See you soon.
Cheers, chaps. Lovely to see you.
Take care, mate. Rich, we've got it's got to be a 4-0, isn't it? I mean, I would imagine they will probably score. And you heard what the Lincoln fans said. Jake, he reckons a 4-0 as well. So it can only mean one thing, can't it?
I'm going for a 4-0. And what I'm hoping for as well, it's going to be a full 90 minutes of pure passion from the Pompey players. We don't need this, one half team that turns up. We need that drive, the passion. I think the Fratton End's already sold out. We're going to have a large crowd there, on Saturday. And it's a case of, let's rock it.
Jordan's going for a 4-0 written all over it, Brendan. Is this the guy, Aaron?
No, his name was Black Whirlies.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Black Whirlies.
Blank FN, I believe that will be. He's gone
Black,
for 5-0.
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
And Bishop 4, Pig at 1. There we go. Feed the pig. And we will score, Brendan. 4-0, yes. 4-0 from James on Facebook. Bishop heads in every single one of them. Jake says 4-0 Imps now, so he's changed his tune. Wednesday, win the league. There we go. Jordan, we shall see, mate. We shall see.
They can't be little old Pompey, can they?
Well, I was going to say, keep the goals out the back of the net and you might be all right. Melissa said 4-0 Pompey. Daniel's going 4-0. So in that case, Brendan, I think I'm a bit worried because I haven't seen anything other than 4-0 yet, other than that 5. So I'm a little bit concerned that we might have brainwashed a few people. But Brendan, if you want to be realistic about it, mate, go for it. But fine.
Well, I'll probably say I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I think that defence has learned its lessons from the weekend. And to be honest, except maybe bar the second one, each one was a very well taken goal that we couldn't really, the keeper couldn't really do much about them, if I'm honest. So I think we'll be strong at the back this weekend. And I want to see a 3-0, I think. Of course, I want a 4-0, Tom. We all do. Of course. But yeah, 3-0.
You're going to be in your new seats as well for the first competitive game on Saturday.
Yeah, we've shuffled across now. So we used to be right in the corner, me, Dad, and our group of us. So, but now we're more in line with the 18-yard box now, rather than stuck in the windy alley. We're now in line with the 18-yard box, so a bit of a better view as well.
So any offsides heading towards the Fratton End, you will be our eyes and ears, mate.
Definitely, Tom. And I'll have it on my camera and I'll send it over to you.
Amazing. Good stuff. Adam, I'm going to throw this one at you before we give you your score prediction. Conor Ogilvie, best signing we've made in the last couple of years from Lee. Best signing we've made in the last couple of years. One of, definitely. He never has a bad game, does he, Connor?
He is Mr. Consistent, isn't he? He's never done that much wrong. He's never in the limelight, but he does keep just consistently good. That's Mr. Conor Ogilvie, Mr. Consistent.
And how important, as David has said, a clean sheet does us the world. I think it does Josh Griffiths a world of good as well. He had the buzz of saving a Tyler Walker penalty, letting in 3 away from home, albeit Sheffield Wednesday, really tough test. How important is that clean sheet?
Huge. I personally, I can't see us keeping a clean sheet, though. I really can't. I still think the defence needs a little bit of work. I think a little bit more bonding. There's still a few more new players that are in and around. I think I can see us maybe conceding 1, but I think our attack is looking really, really strong. But clean sheet, I'm not too sure we'll have.
before we go to Brendan, a score from Poirier? Go for it.
I'm going to go for a 3-1. You might not like it, but I'm going to go for a 3-1.
Right, take that. I was going to say 3-1 as well. Obviously, we'd go 4-0, but I suppose this is technically off camera, isn't it? I suppose we're still on YouTube, but we'd be a little bit more toned down, and I go for a 3-1 as well, because I think, well, Griffiths has got a mistake in him. He's against Lincoln City. He'll recognise some players. I worry there's a little bit of pressure of the whole Fratton Park. I wouldn't be surprised, Brendan, if we don't get motoring like we did at Hillsborough again. I'd hate to be pessimistic about it. I think we should all bear that in mind. Fratton Park, such an occasion. I know everyone's going to be behind us rather than against us this time, albeit for 2,136, whatever it was. What did you want to add?
What I was going to say, Tom, around the feeling itself, after the performance of yesterday and the good feelings of everything that we experienced, I wanted to just want to make a point saying that.
One more time.
Yeah, go on. Here we are. Conor Ruggle, man.
That's such a header. Such a good header.
Lovely.
Oh, look at you, Rich. Look at Rich go. Go on, my son.
I was going to say earlier, look at the gap behind us with all the amount of empty seats of all the people that have gone flying forward.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I think we'll see it here again, actually, maybe. Do we see? No, that's me nearly going over the seats. I know.
Did you drop the camera, Tom? Did you actually drop it at one point?
I did. If you watch back, I think it's the third one. When that geezer just was adamant on crowd surfing. I recognise him from a few of them. He might be in the stream, so hello to you if you are. I just think that was a. I said to Dad earlier, I was like, I'm going to get one of those like wristband things that you can kind of just in case it goes at one point. If I don't know if the Port Vale limbs are going to be the same with Rich and myself and Dad up there, but
I might make it a Port Vale as well.
Oh, there we go. See,
I'll try and make it up.
Aaron's coming. Adam's coming. We're all going to Port Vale. Brendan, you just wanted to finish your point, mate, about the good feeling and the morale boost that Saturday gave us.
I think when Pompey play well and we have those sorts of days, I've been smiling and beaming all day. You know, Patsy will say it as well. I've been in good form and happy all day, and rewatching the videos on my phone and videos Pat took of it all. It was just beaming from face to face and singing the Colby Bishop song in my head all day and everything. It was literally just all day. I'm going to continue it all week.
In the title.
Yeah. Because Colby Bishop's magic. He wears a magic hat. He could have signed for Blackpool, but he said no, sod that. He wants to play for Pompey in the famous blue and white. And when we win promotion, we'll sing his song all night.
Thank you for saying sod.
And I've just been... Oh, Tom, I'm keeping your CPM up.
Thank you, mate.
And it is just the good feeling all day, and and leaving the ground, saying goodbye to Rich and saying bye to Gaz and yourself and your dad, and be like, having a hug and saying, "See you later, boys. See you Saturday," sort of thing. Just it gives me that good feeling and positivity back that we've missed over the last few months with not having football on, and it's good to be back.
Amazing, Rich. Before we go, Dad said to say to you, sorry, I didn't say goodbye properly. He was feeling terrible about that.
It's okay.
Well, you know what he likes to do? He just likes to get going, and he just walked straight through the line of police that were there, separating us from the Wednesday fans, and just went. So there we go. But he will see you on Saturday. Myself and Rich will be buying the mint shirt, I think, if he wants it on Saturday. I don't know. Look at that.
That does look
Did you not want
it?
Well. It's on Aaron's wall, isn't it? Already.
He got so excited by it, Brendan. He was like, "Quick, get the rollers out, get the wall painted, get it on there." Amazing. So no, we're going to be doing that, and we're all really looking forward to bringing Saturday to you, gents. It's been a pleasure. Before we leave you, we'll have one more quick look. Aaron's going to be painting the whole house now, so by next Sunday when you see him, it'll all be mint. We'll have a quick look at August fixtures for Pompey, and also where the league table has ended up after this weekend. So right there, boys, we'll say goodbye. This is what we're looking at right now. Pompey Lincoln is next up on Saturday, which we're all getting really excited for. I'll be making the trip to Cardiff. Brendan, if I can tempt you, mate, there's still tickets available. Cheltenham away is in a couple of weeks' time. He's made a funny face, everyone. Port Vale is the big away day that we're next going to be doing for you. Cambridge at home, couple of midweek fixtures in there for you as well. So we've got plenty of home games before August is out. Wickham took a bit of a barnstorming lead against Burton, which means they are top of the table. Pompey currently just 2 points off the playoffs. Aaron, any closing words for the lovely ladies and gents who have joined us all evening? And we'll before, actually, sorry to cut you off before you even started. Before you even do so, a great stream from Leo. So that's very much, thank you very much for that, mate. Really appreciate it. There is also another one that I wanted to get to, waiting for the away kit, which I know Poirier is very excited about. We've spoken about that a little bit, haven't we? So hopefully we get a black and gold. Aaron, have you any of your Twitter friends, have they given you any inkling as to, because you predicted the third kit, give us the away kit, go on, 4-0 exclusive.
I reckon, well, there's a choice of 2 colours. One of them is the black one, and I can't remember what the other colour they sent me.
It can't be bright, can it? Because there are too many
No,
bright ones now.
Yeah, but it'd be nice to have a black one, because we haven't had a black one for a while. And I do like my old one from 2008, the black kit. I do like that one. That was really, really nice.
There's a good luck message from a Wednesday fan, Rich, which I think is really nice. So thank you for that,
Thank you very
Jordan.
much,
Much
Jordan.
appreciated. Cheers to the stream, says Reggie. Great fun in the comments. Thank you for the stream. Thanks everyone for being here. We are having supply issues. Hopefully the next time we play away from home, I would imagine it's probably all sorted by now. The season's got going. Forrest is in. He's just got home from Sheffield. Crikey, mate. You had a bit of a time up there, didn't you? Gaz got home before you, mate. He lives in Malta. There you go. So all good. Good night to Noel. Thanks for joining us. Aaron, you any closing words? Sorry, I cut you off a bit there.
At the end of August, we'll be 2nd in the league.
Rich?
Top of the league, end of August.
Oh, God. We need to manage expectation here, Brendan. I know you're probably going to go along with it as well.
Top 6.
Take that.
Definitely top 6.
Adam, come on, bring us back down to earth. Okay, we'll be in the bottom half end of
August. Relegation zone.
No. Okay, I'm going to say
it's not Alex, is he?
Fifth we take.
Yeah.
We take fifth. Amazing. Gents, thanks very much. That was a lot of fun. And also, within the fun, we got a really important message across as well tonight, which I was really pleased about. So that's all good. Right, that's where we're going to leave you. We'll see you on Saturday night. Sorry that the video was a little bit late, by the way. Do apologise. I'll give you what happened. I'll tell you the story very quickly. We were going to, if anyone knows it, which you probably don't, Lynx Hotel in Loughborough has incredible Wi-Fi that I absolutely love and adore. So anyone watching anywhere near Loughborough, it's near where my brother lives, so it's quite an easy point for us. Got in there, tried to render the video, forgot I'd made it 22 minutes long, and it took an awful lot more disk space than I was expecting. So basically realised that it wasn't going to upload. Dad wanted to get home, so I had it ready about 8:30, and then I couldn't get it up till later on. But would you believe it? It's been one of the top performing videos in the first 24, not even 24 hours for quite a while. So that's massive thanks to two of you on the stream and 2 of you bringing the 4-0 live to everyone. It's been amazing. We'll see you Saturday. Thanks for joining us. Go and watch the Sheffield Wednesday video if you haven't seen it. Go and watch it again. Relive it. Gaz downloaded it on the plane and watched it over and over again earlier. So that just tells you how much you need to see it. Thank you to everyone for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for 4-0 Sunday Live. Your favourite hour and a half of the week has sadly come to a close. But don't worry, we'll be back at the usual time of 7 o'clock next Sunday night to bring you every reaction from the Lincoln game. We'll also then look ahead to Cardiff and... oh, dear, that's bad. And, oh, I don't know. I've muted you all as well, so I've got no help. Hang on, let me... Cheltenham. There we go. Gentlemen, see you later. Stay right there because I want to say a massive thank you to you boys in the stream. But thank you and see you later. Take care. Play up, Pompey.